All right, welcome back to your second version here on Table Talk, Real Estate, Family, and Legacy on downsizing. Once again, I have my notes here just because when I start going, I am going to forget probably about the other two or three topics that we want to discuss, and that just wouldn't be good. So just to kind of go back through part one, if you haven't watched it and you're catching this video here, this is a part two of a two-part video on downsizing and how to help the parents adjust, understand, and get through it. So in part one, we quickly discussed how to have the conversations without causing any conflict between yourself, your siblings, and your parents, right? What the families overlook the most in a home, why they should be downsizing, but may not see it, and how to help the parents go along getting rid of their belongings. So that's all in part one. So we're going to pick it up here, and we're going to talk about when to know it's time for a serious talk about downsizing. And I personally never had to have that talk because it never got to that point, although it did at one point in time. If any of you kind of know my back history, my mother had a major stroke, lived in a house with many stairs, and I knew that we were not going to be able to get back into that. She was not going to be able to go back to that house. The only other option was to move in with us, sell my house, sell her house, buy a larger house that would work for us all. And even though she may have kind of understood that she couldn't do it, it didn't go well. All right. Unfortunately, she never made it out of the hospital. She wound up passing away in hospice about 2 months later. But so having that conversation and it switching up so quickly, it's kind of difficult for me as a personal experience to kind of let you guys know. But I think when the time is serious enough is when you start seeing changes in how they live in the home. Are they not going up and down the stairs as much? Like, are they sleeping in their recliner at night because they may not be able to make it up and down the stairs? Are they maybe not doing laundry as much as they used to because laundry's in the basement and they can't navigate the basement stairs? So I would think it's more along the lines of living habit as to when you need to have that conversation. Also, this kind of sets in with the physical possibilities, but are they not knowing where they're going in the home? Are they forgetting where things are? Are they forgetting where certain rooms are? And that goes into the dementia and the Alzheimer spots. So there are subtle things that you can see, like, did they used to take care of the yard and it was always immaculate and mom was in the garden or dad was taking care of the lawn, and now all of a sudden it's getting longer and longer and less cuts in between, and maybe they just can't handle the outside as much. That's not a huge reason for downsizing. If they have the money, they can kind of have a landscaper come in. But it's those little things that can trigger you to understand or maybe say, hey, why is this? Why are they not doing this anymore? Why are they doing that now? And it's simple little questions that can be asked as to, like, why are you sleeping down in the chair today? Why don't you sleep in your bed? And you can kind of tell. You go in the bedroom if it's been used or not in the last couple of days. Same thing with the bathrooms. If there's not a bathroom on the first floor and they live in a 2 or 3 story home, things like that. And again, in my case, there was pushback. There was no way she was going to be able to go back there, even if she got out of hospital, and there was pushback. So expect pushback. And that's discussed in part one. how to kind of handle that pushback and decide on what you really need to do and how you need to kind of frame it in conversation. All right. The emotional weight adult children carry during this process. And this one I can talk from. This one I can discuss and talk from because I went through it twice. It's hard. If you're an only child like myself, and I had my wife and 2 or 3 family members, cousins and aunts, kind of like behind me and helping me out with it, it's stressful. Very, very stressful because you feel bad. They're going to try to make you feel bad about it. So you don't push them or uh, make them do it. All right. So your parents are going to try to make you feel bad about it. They're going to say, "Oh, you don't love me. Oh, if you love me, you wouldn't do this. Oh, you didn't make so and so do this, and you didn't." They're going to reverse it toddler style. They're going to act like a 4-year-old who didn't get that Star Wars figure in the Toys R Us. All right, trust me. Even when my mom was in that hospital bed, it was, "I'm not going nowhere. I don't care." And it was like, well, you got no choice in the matter. So the emotional weight it carries is a lot. And don't be afraid to come here and read the comments or drop comments about things and get some help and some support from the community here. But that emotional weight is hard. You can't let it define you. You can't let it get into your head and think that you're a bad person, or think that they're never going to talk to me again, or think that, if so and so was doing this would be easier. You just have to do it. You have to know that you, as their child, are making the right decision in discussing downsizing with them. It's, again, not going to be easy. It's going to be a pushback. Sometimes it may not be. You may have parents that are, I don't want to say reasonable, because there is no reasoning in this, but they may understand that, hey, you know what, they're right. I really need to go into this community where its home is too big, but I can still get along, and maybe a 2-bedroom home is better than a 4-bedroom home, right? And maybe you have that luxury, and great. But most of the time, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be tension, and from the emotional part of it, you just have to let it go. For myself, there was frontward emotion to it, that I really don't want to get into too much. But for myself, the situation that we were in and why we were in it, I felt bad about. But knew that what I was doing at that time was the best moves for myself and my mother and my wife and everybody involved. And as long as you can understand that, it doesn't matter what other people think, what other people say. If you are doing what is best in that particular situation, that's all you really need to know about. That's all you need to worry about. Don't worry about what the buddy says at work. Don't worry about what Uncle John says, or Aunt Betty, or whoever. It's what works best for you and your parents and your family.